Welcome to CS 318, Managing Servers. This is a course all about exploring what servers are and how they're different from desktop computers. We're going to look at server hardware, server operating systems, server networking, security, disaster recovery, and a variety of other topics related specifically to servers. Throughout this course, I will be your instructor as we explore these topics together. My name is Mr. Stephen Elliott. I've been teaching here at Emmaus Bible College for 6 years, and I've been working with servers both as an administrator and as a user for more than 10 years, and I'm excited to share my experience and knowledge with all of you. I enjoy teaching this class because servers are everywhere and we interact with them on a daily basis without even knowing it. So this is a way of lifting the curtain and kind of seeing what's underneath, what's behind the web page that we browse every day, what's behind the video game that we play, what actually controls our network infrastructure, and how are things controlled in the background of a corporate network. I think it's really exciting to see all of that and how it all works together. Before we dive into the content, let's talk about this course and how it's laid out. I want to get you guys as familiar as possible with the structure of the course so that it's not a hindrance to your learning. First and foremost, realize that all of the content for this class is going to be delivered through the Schoology platform. So check Schoology regularly for upcoming assignments, due dates, course materials, and updates. The course is organized in 8 units that correspond with the 8 weeks of the session. Realize that each unit will begin on a Tuesday and end on the following Monday. During each unit, there will be a variety of tasks to perform, including watching videos, taking notes, reading a chapter from the textbook, and completing chapter questions. There may also be projects, tests, and discussions assigned. Typically, discussions and video notes will be due on Friday. Projects, tests, and other assignments will be due on the Monday at the end of each unit. Realize that 8 weeks is a very short amount of time to fit this content into, and there's not a lot of room for error in turning in assignments late. As such, in order to encourage you to turn assignments in on time, I will not be accepting late assignments. So please be mindful of those due dates and get your assignments in on time so that you can do well in this class. Let's talk for a moment about video notes, chapter questions, and discussions. In each unit, there will be a series of videos that you will need to watch. These take the place of the face-to-face lectures of our typical classes. They're not as long as a standard lecture, but they contain vital information for you getting the most out of this course. Because they contain vital information that I want to make sure that you are understanding and absorbing, I ask that you take notes during those video presentations. In order to make sure that you've watched the videos and absorbed that information, there will be an assignment due each unit titled Video Notes. Please submit a copy of your video notes in that assignment to prove that you've watched the videos and absorbed that material. Each week there will also be one chapter from the textbook that you are required to read. At the end of that chapter, there will be a series of chapter questions. Please answer those questions to the best of your ability and then grade your test. Please submit your graded test to Schoology. You won't be docked points for doing poorly on the chapter test. It's merely for your own reflection and study. You will be graded on completion, however. When it comes to discussions, each week we will have at least one and sometimes 2 discussions to participate in. Your initial discussion post will be due on Friday nights. I expect you to create a 2 to 4 paragraph well-written post that responds to the prompt or questions in that discussion prompt. Once you have submitted your response, look through other students' responses and respond to 1 or 2 of them with thoughts, encouragement, or other insightful questions that will generate discussion. Remember to respond to anyone else who responds to your initial post as well. And remember, the more insightful your responses are, the more likely that fruitful discussion will result. The purpose of these particular discussions is to replace some of the interactions that might happen in the classroom with interactions on a web forum. So please don't ignore those or blow them off, but use them as a great opportunity to interact with your fellow students on the material that we are learning in class. As I said previously, this class is going to cover a variety of topics inside of servers, from server hardware to server software and operating systems, server storage systems, server networking, troubleshooting and optimizing servers, server security, and server disaster recovery. As exciting as these topics are, I'm going to be presenting them from an assumption that you already know much of the material, at least in the context of desktop systems. So previous to this class, you should have had an introduction to computer hardware, something similar to an A+ course or a computer hardware course. You should be familiar with the major components of any desktop computer system, such as CPUs, RAM, storage, power supplies, motherboards, graphics cards, etc. I'm also assuming that you're familiar with the fundamentals of operating systems and that you've had a college-level course in operating systems, and that you're familiar with the differences between Windows and Linux. I'm also assuming that you've had some form of an Intro to Networking course and that you're familiar with the 7-layer OSI model, the differences in networking devices such as routers and switches. I'm assuming that you're capable of subnetting IP addresses and understanding how layer 4 network ports work to offer software out to the network. And lastly, I'm assuming that you've had an introduction to computer security and are familiar with the topics of confidentiality, integrity, and availability, as well as functionality, security, and usability. If you don't feel like you're prepared to take this class because some of the things that I just said sounded foreign or vague to you, please let myself or your academic advisor know so that we can determine whether this course is right for you or not. It may be possible to give you supplemental materials on one or more of these topics that you can study concurrently with the rest of the course so that you can understand the content that is presented. So again, I'd like to say welcome to CS 318 Managing Servers. I'm looking forward to working with you throughout this course to learn this content and explore this exciting area of servers together. My contact information is in the syllabus, but you can also contact me through Schoology Messenger. Please, at any time during the course, feel free to reach out. I love to answer questions, and I want you to succeed in this course.